Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. As today we catch up with the local demonic leadership before they can bail her out and leave us behind. Though to be fair, it sounds like it's only really Mana who's trying to go. Darazand is making a stand. So, we'll see how that works out for him, considering that we technically already beat him back in Act 2, when we were like half our current level. Who knows, maybe he's picked up his game since then. I guess we'll find out. Here we go. Might as well top off real quick.
You called?
I'm sure that's fine. You are blinded by a sudden flash. It feels like giants are hammering on your temples, and a monstrous pain lashes your chest. Your wound has reopened at the worst possible moment, and is gushing blood. You sense the malevolent proximity of the abyss. You can almost touch the threat emanating from it. Slowly, almost reluctantly, the wound closes, but the pain and your heightened awareness remain. The hall bears the traces of the huge Balor's anger. Some demons are lying on the floor, literally ground into a bloody mess, while the rest are cowering against the walls. The blood is not confined to the ground either, but is splashed across the face of the kneeling Minago. It's not clear if it came from the pentagram on the Litu's forehead, or from the slash of the Balor's claws.
Let me into the rift, Darazand! We're all going to die here! Trying to fight back. It's madness!
No one goes into the rift. You will fight, all of you, or else.
The Balor unleashes a deafening roar, the eyes on his huge head filled with true madness. I cut him some slack, Zandy. Not their fault they realize that they don't stand a chance against me. You really gonna fault them for your shortcomings?
I told you, Darazand. Now you're going to die, and they'll hang your horned skull on the walls of Dresden!
You and your little troop made a fool of me at the Battle of Dresden. Finally, I can make you pay. Finally.
The demon's red eyes are fixed on you. Yeah, good luck with that. Honestly, this looks kind of tame. 1 Balor, 2 Meriliths, and a couple of votaries.
Cover me, alright?
Okay, yeah, sure. 54 AC, that's not awful. Votary. Okay, so the other one must be hiding in the back, too. We'll want to take those guys out before they cast their more annoying spells. And yeah, we'll get Darren on Dispelling B. There's our other votary. Ooh, Blade Barrier. That's annoying. Nice, okay. Let's clear the ads. Votary out. Votary 2 out. Let's whittle Darazand down to size. Oh, yes, that is fantastic. That should definitely make things a whole lot easier here. As a side note, I did see the feedback on our latest level up, and I am taking some of it into consideration. I just, at this point, I think we're basically going to aim for max level, and then I'll go back and I'll do one last collective respec for everyone, just to get them all locked in with their endgame builds. So we should see some pretty big power spikes once we hit that big 2-0.
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
Oh, Darazand, you really thought you could stand against me? Why are you tripping? It's cool, guys. I've got this. You really don't need to mutilate yourself in the wall of blades. Yeah, good effort, Hand. Thanks. Darazand is understandably shaken.
Out of my sight!
Oh, wow. Darazand, buddy. Sweetie. You know, if I hadn't watched you murder a bunch of people, I'd almost feel bad for this. Ah, going out with a bang. Good for him.
Rifts are usually chaotic and unstable. That's why I've been plagued by one question. How could demons have created a stable, permanent passage from the abyss here in the World Wound? And as I stare into the flames of the rift itself, the answer still eludes me. What is the secret to this canker festering at the very heart of our world? How can we heal it?
My friends and comrades, the time has come for us to discuss something of the utmost importance. It is here, on the threshold of the abyss, that I must announce an important decision before you all. But first, we shall talk about you, Commander. About how well you have discharged the duties I entrusted to you.
The Queen lingers for a few moments, staring into the purple flames of the rift.
My righteous sister in faith, must these discussions take place now at such a moment? The enemy is watchful, and its forces are great. That is what we must turn our attention to, not scrutinizing our fellow crusaders.
In the 100 years that this war has lasted, not a day has gone by when I haven't thought about how we can win it. That is precisely why we cannot delay the conversation any longer.
The Queen says harshly. So hold on, let me get this straight. I do more in a year than you've done in the past 100, and, now I get put on trial for it?
Not a trial, merely a superior evaluating the actions of a subordinate. May I remind you that it was I who entrusted you with your title and an army? The first and most glaring issue I'd like to discuss is how you have used the divine gift that was bestowed upon you. According to the reports I've been receiving, The commander is more interested in frivolous japes and pranks than winning the war. My sources also believe that you're in contact with highly suspect supernatural beings.
Yeah, it's crazy how keeping your enemies guessing with a bunch of varied tactics and unexpected allies actually helps you win these long-term engagements. But, what do I know? I'm only the most successful Mendevian Crusader in recorded history.
A commander's absolute priority is leading the Crusader armies, and I cannot help but notice that you have handled this part of your responsibilities well.
I mean, yeah.
I cannot but notice your strange choice of companions. The good gods teach us to seek the light even in the darkest soul, and to believe in redemption. But it is one thing to believe in the good intentions of a murderous succubus, and, for example, send her to a temple of Desna to be cared for by experienced priests. But it is another matter entirely to take the demon with you to the front lines, where one well-timed stab in the back could put a tragic end to our entire Crusader cause. It is unthinkably reckless.
The Queen's eyes fix on Arushale. Gosh, you're right. I really would have been better off sticking with the folks you recommended, like Staunton Vane and Nenda Denduar. You think they would have helped us get the job done?
With all due respect, my lady, Arushale has proven herself to be a faithful and reliable comrade. She has fought bravely for us, and we both want to see the demons defeated. Is there any reason to reproach the commander for accepting her into our party?
Seela! We got her Seela approval.
You can find reasons aplenty in any Mendevian cemetery, Seela. Each one is full of the graves of those who were deceived by demons.
And yet, oddly, I have not yet found my way into one, have I? Hey, so, as I was just saying, before you get too critical on my hiring practices, you maybe want to take a step back and discuss the whole Nura situation? You know, the gal you foisted off on me, who burned down half my camp and wiped out half my army. How about Inquisitor Halrun, or that Master Zacharias dude? They were both upstanding champions of the Crusade, were they not? I can't see how things possibly could have gone wrong if we'd brought folks like that on board.
A fair reproach. Let's hope Arushale will stand head and shoulders above Nura.
That a joke? You a size queen? This conversation took a weird turn.
I also wish to mention what you did with Iomede's banner, the Sword of Valor. This sacred relic handed to you to defend the city against the demons has become a reflection of you. I do not know how you managed to distort its features, but I cannot overlook it. I only pray that Iomede will forgive us all for this most improper treatment of her relic.
The Queen cringes as if from a toothache. Yeah, I don't know if I really so much did that as it just kind of happened while I was around it. But sure, yeah, let's add that as charge 2 against me. Thus far, you don't like my incredibly effective tactics, or my fashion sense. Gotcha. Possibly the whole size thing too, but, you know, that could go either way.
That is all I wish to say. And now, to summarize.
Pretty sure I did a good job of summarizing it there for you, but right, yeah, this'll be rich. You're too damn good at your job, Vex. You're making everyone else look bad. You gotta be a team player. Take it down a few notches. Suck more. Maybe die.
You can think my assessment is empty fault-finding, but I am responsible for the entire Crusade, for Mendev, and for the future of those who have encountered or will encounter the evil of the World Wound. I do not have the luxury of making a single mistake.
You hear the ring of steel in the Queen's voice. You sure? Not a single mistake, huh? Well, thank goodness you never made one of those before.
That is why I am forced to remove you from the command of the Fifth Crusade.
Yeah, tired of winning. I get that. Story of my life. Throughout the Queen's entire speech, Darren is silent. but his silence is more expressive than an entire crowd yelling profanities. Yeah, you tell him, D.
This is why I always take payment up front. The customers become very shifty when everything is done.
Grinning, Greybor nods. Hey, Greybor, glad you caught up with us. I see you brought the dinosaur. That's very bismuth-minded of you. I respect that.
I deeply respect the desire to bring discipline to the Crusades, but not all the accusations you leveled at the commander are guided by that desire.
Hey, Regel's got our back. I knew we'd grow on him eventually, like an infectious fungus.
Typical. Get us to do the job first, and start with the questions after. Next thing, they'll be telling us to empty our pockets and kicking us out the door.
Welch mumbles softly.
My righteous sister, you are entitled to make such a decision, but please reconsider whether this is the right one. He is not just the Crusade commander. He is our hope. Our only hope.
Our only hope is he? I see you do not value me or the other heroes of the Crusade very highly, my righteous brother and comrade.
The Queen's eyes flash. Okay, I think I see what's going on here. Feeling a little threatened, are we? It's cool, I get that.
But let me continue. Do not take your demotion as a punishment. I have in many respects been forced to take this step. As we all know, the demons have created a new weapon, Nihindrian crystals, which provide them with truly mythical powers. We managed to remove the threat temporarily, but not eliminate its source.
The Queen takes a deep breath, briefly closing her eyes in weariness.
Nihindrian crystals were brought here to Galarian through this rift. I shall do everything to ensure this route is blocked from now on. I shall destroy all the paths from the Midnight Fane to Dresden, blocking the passages with rocks if I have to, so that demons passing through this indestructible rift cannot descend upon the city. This is a forced measure. I am doing this for the safety of Dresden. But this won't solve the problem. We must track the demon's path and settle this issue once and for all. And that means venturing into the abyss. No one but you, with your unique power, can handle this task. That is why I shall take over the command of the Crusader armies, and you will journey forth on this great mission.
Yeah, I'd love to help you with that, but I just got fired. And I think we'll just keep this lexicon to ourselves. I have no reason to trust the Queen at this point. I mean, look, Vex went into this expecting her to screw him over at some point. And sure, he kind of set it up as a self-fulfilling prophecy, but that's, try telling him that. So do we have an exit strategy on this whole Abyss thing?
Don't worry about that. I will go with you, and I know the secrets of traveling between planes. I have also been to the Abyss before, and I have fought the beasts that dwell there. My sword and my experience will help you on this mission.
Okay, you know what? That's good enough for me. We have no reason to doubt the hand. He's been great since the moment we met him. Maybe just let him do the talking next time, Galfrey. You're not really great at this whole delegation thing. Alright, look, I will go to the Abyss and I will save the world. I'm already pretty invested in this whole thing anyway, so I might as well see it through. But don't think we're done talking about this. I will have words with you once I'm back. Assuming you haven't already gotten yourself killed by then. The Queen's brow furrows, but she refrains from comment.
Valor, bravery, and loyal comrades. We have all this in abundance. With it, even the Abyss holds no fear for us.
The angel lays his hand on your shoulder.
Wish me luck as well. Until next we meet.
The Queen's eyes dart away, and her knuckles turn white as she grips her hilt. Oh, yeah, she is 1,000,000% jealous of us. Gotta say, I did not see that coming, but it makes a lot of sense. She is the face of the Mendevian Crusade, and she couldn't get it done. Now here we are, upsetting the status quo and doing it in our distinctive and chaotic style. I could definitely understand why she wants us out of the picture, but not necessarily out of the Crusade. Oh, Darazand, were you busy dying that whole time? Sorry, buddy. A lull is not the end of the fight. Menace of Death. Rupturing Storm. Gold coin with Baphomet's mark. A gold coin that used to belong to the Bay Lord Darazand. The mark of the Demon Lord Baphomet is etched onto the coin's face. Interesting. Like a favor marker, perhaps? Or a soul coin? We heard about soul coins over in Baldur's Gate 3. Well, I'm not sure if they have those in Pathfinder. Menace of Death. Amulet of Natural Armor +3. When someone dies within 10 feet, wearer gains haste for 2d3 rounds. Renewed each time someone dies. If the effect wears off, the wearer cannot make weapon or unarmed attacks for 1d3 rounds. Wow, that's rough. Though our fights are usually so quick. No, but we'd have to be nearby when someone dies. I wonder if natural weapons count as weapons or unarmed attacks. Might have to do some experimenting there. Rupturing Storm. +5 Scimitar. Plus 3d6 fire damage. On crit, creates fire sparks that grant flaming enchantment to nearby allies. Also, fire resistance. Well, that's fun. I mean, completely useless against demons, unless you take Ascendant Flame damage, but still fun. Basically just sales fodder for us. Alright, let's give this place a quick gander before we start looking for a good stopping point. Though we actually do have one other thing we have to do while we're here. Well, this is dull. I wish the next lot of demons would hurry it up. Just you wait, you oglins! It's so good to be on the offensive again, and not on the defensive. Oh, I don't know about that. I feel like you're still being pretty defensive. This place is teeming with inescapable evil. The statues of demon lords here are ominous, of course, but there is some savage aesthetic to them. Are we really just one step away from the abyss? What a rancid, disgusting place. It'll take 100 priests and a month of prayers to rid it of even the first layer of filth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're just blowing the place up, but I'm sure they'll take your suggestion into account. I mean, to be fair, I certainly wouldn't mind having an active planar portal beneath my stronghold, now that it's actually officially under our control. I mean, this is how you start a classic reverse invasion. Not just pushing the enemy forces out of our plane, but staking our claim on part of theirs. Though, sadly, I imagine that's well beyond the scope of this particular campaign, but absolutely something I would be down for, were I bellying up to a tabletop. Or running a campaign. I mean, I don't think I ever actually ran a campaign that got quite this grandiose. I just, as a general rule of thumb, tended to avoid planar adventures. I found they tended to overly complicate things for most of my players. Okay, so we need to switch things up here. I'm not entirely sure how this works, but I noticed that this switch has a symbol above it. So I imagine we need to go through all of the switches and flip the ones that have symbols so that the switches are facing those symbols. But I also have not been marking where symbols are as we've been going, so I'm going to have to crawl back through the entire dungeon to see which ones do have symbols and which ones don't. And, of course, there might be a specific order we actually have to flip these in, because flipping the switches also closes and opens doors. So depending on which doors we end up shutting, that could restrict the routes we can take to get to whatever we need to get to afterwards, once we've figured out the right combination. This, you know what, this might actually take a minute. Let's skip ahead a little until I figure out what I'm doing. Because, obviously, there's a good bit of guesswork going on here. We'll be right back. Oh, hello. This is promising. Oh, I see. Right. Yeah, this is the escape route that Monago used earlier. I didn't even realize we could actually get back here. That certainly does seem to imply that we could have just ignored Yaniel and gone right after Monago instead. Not that I would have. I mean, honestly, as far as Heroes of the Crusade go, she seems like one of the good ones. A lot of parallels between her and Vex. Both too effective at their job to the point where the rest of the Crusade withdrew support.
Distract them from me.
Only to, you know, prop them up afterwards as martyrs for the cause. Getting some decent mileage out of that new stun hammer on Reg. Sleep. Sleep. Yeah, nothing much else to say here. And then this actually lets right back out, just across from the other portal that led out of her chambers. So while there might have been other ways that whole Yaniel thing could have played out, I think Monago would have gotten away either way. It really would have just come down to whether or not Yaniel survived the process, probably. Priscilla? Alright, back to switching things up. We'll be right back. And we are back. Okay, it turns out that I was trying to do the exact opposite of what we needed to do, which was close every door except for the two with Baphomet symbols. Those needed to be opened. A bit counterintuitive since it means the switch is pointing away from the symbol, but this should do the trick. And there it is. That's pretty cool. Let's check this out. Yeah, we are officially into the material that I only have very, very passing knowledge of. As evidenced by the Achievo that just popped. We're approaching a lot of unknowns, a lot of material I just am not familiar with.
This is my kind of work.
Close ranks.
Oh, okay. Enraged Vescivore swarms. Oh, good. I believe every single person in the party is confused, except for Kaz and Vex. And of course, we can't equip those anti-swarm clasps in the middle of an ongoing fight. Okay, you know what? I don't really see this working out for us. I'm gonna roll the clock back a little, and we'll go into this slightly better prepared. Okay, take two. Let's try this again, shall we? Thank goodness for completely normal, unbreakable heart.
Ask nicely.
Oh, right, there was a trap. My bad. That's fine. We do have acid resist. Oh, okay, that one just noped right out of the fight. I guess that's cool. I am certainly not complaining as long as we don't have to kill that thing to proceed. There we go. Continue. Uh-oh, okay. You know, I skipped doing the Swarmbane clasps because I assumed these would be fragile like the Vescivore swarms of yesteryear, but I may have made a slight mistake. Yeah, I should have swapped in the clasps. It's cool, though. We'll just have Ember drop some maximized firestorms. Special thanks to the, 6 exasperated viewers who repeatedly reminded me that Firestorm doesn't cause friendly fire. That was the main reason I wasn't using it. The incorrect assumption that it was just a full screen of indiscriminate party-wiping damage. Though, to be fair, I don't normally push adventuring parties this far along the leveling paths, Pathfinder or otherwise. I've always classically just been more of a low-level adventurer guy. I like that early game grind,
Stab you or zap you? Why not both?
both as a player and as a dungeon master. Big part of why I used to run so many product demos,
It is not an option.
because that was basically just a non-stop parade of low and mid-level adventures. Oh boy, yeah, that's going to take a couple of castings. 2 more should do it. We're getting there. 1 more. I'm sorry, I meant 1 more and change. There we go. And we're good. I guess that other swarm just ventured forth into the great beyond and saved us the trouble. I appreciate that. Oh, and a manual of bodily health +2. Wow. That is fantastic. Yeah, just like that tome of manual dexterity. That's another permanent boost to whoever reads it. Which, I mean, let's be honest, is almost certainly going to be Vex, but I should at least entertain the idea it might be someone else. We also got a restock on Diamond Dust. That is fantastic. We were actually starting to run low. If the wearer of this ring can cast spontaneous spells, it grants the following additional spells: Spiked Pit, Stone Skin, Acid Pit, Acid Fog, Caustic Eruption, and Clashing Rocks. Interesting. I mean, we don't really have a dedicated acid caster, but Acid Pit and Spiked Pit and Stone Skin, those all have potential uses. That might be worth slapping on Darren, even as is. A well-placed pit can buy you time during difficult fights. Oh, thought we... Huh. Thought we had already cleared these bodies. Okay, no. Wait. Do these guys just keep respawning scimitars? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't feel good taking advantage of something like that. That's too cheesy. But regardless, with our spiraling descent into madness complete, that brings us to a pretty great stopping point, right on the cusp of Act 4. And on the very edge of the content that I am actually familiar with, more or less. I mean, even this stuff was already pushing it, as evidenced by that mysterious pit we just emerged from. That said, obviously I've got some stuff going on in real life over the next couple of weeks, so we will be taking a short hiatus between acts. But we will come back strong next month, as we take the fight to the Abyss. The Midnight Isles, I believe. So maybe that whole reverse invasion scenario is not as far-fetched as I imagined. See you then. Oh, and special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Revenant, Alois, Dragon Matrix 7, Drakiith, Theory B23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, James Trimmier, Kazorm, Mark Giemza, Nathan Welch Jr., OverlordPherom, RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Rowan Church, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, if you'd also like to help support the channel, then feel free to push the buttons that do the things. Trust me, it does make a difference. Or you could even check out the PayPal, the Patreon, the Nexus GG, or the YouTube memberships. Links are in the description.
I see you do not value me or the other heroes of the Crusade very highly, my righteous brother and comrade.